Dawn rose gently over the Rocky Mountains, spilling rivers of rose and gold across a sky still trembling with the chill of night. A hush blanketed the high valleys, broken only by the slow drip of melting snow and the distant cry of a raven. Beneath the whispering pines, fog curled low, soft as breath. And in that mist, pressed into the damp soil, lay the paw prints of a ghost. The mountain lion had passed here, silent, unseen, the sovereign shadow of the American wilderness. To the few who have glimpsed her, she is a flicker of tawny gold against the stone, a ripple of muscle vanishing into trees. To others, she is only myth, a whisper at the edge of a campfire, the unseen watcher above a canyon rim. But she is real, alive in every heartbeat of the wild frontier that still endures between the oceans. She wears many names: cougar, puma, catamount, panther, but none capture her essence. She is the spirit of the mountains themselves, solitary, elusive, and enduring. Far across her range, from the cliffs of Yosemite to the deserts of Arizona, she moves through worlds shaped by extremes. In Montana's deep forests, her paws pad over pine needles still heavy with snow. In the sun-scorched Utah canyons, her golden coat melts into the dust. And along California's rugged coast, her tracks mingle with sea mist and coyote prints. Where deer move, she follows. Where silence reigns, she listens. She has adapted to nearly every corner of the continent, proof that survival favors the patient, not the loud. Her kingdom is vast. In Yellowstone, she may roam 100 miles of ridges and river valleys, claiming them with a scent no human nose could ever sense. It is her language, a boundary line written in wild code. To trespass is to challenge. Yet this wide rule is not born of greed, but necessity. The land must feed her, and through her, it must also balance itself. For every deer she takes, a meadow is spared from overgrazing. For every life claimed, countless others thrive. She is nature's quiet correction, a reminder that even death serves the living. Without her, the forest would grow sick. Deer would strip bark from saplings, riversides would erode, and the pulse of the ecosystem would falter. She does not know this in words, but in instinct. Each chase, each silent step, keeps the world whole. She is both hunter and healer, part of an unbroken rhythm older than memory. When winter loosens its grip and the mountains soften under spring's thaw, something changes within her. The snow melts faster, the rivers swell, and the air fills with scents of pine resin and rain. Inside her, a slow stirring begins, a call older than the mountains themselves. Hormones awaken, guiding her toward a purpose she cannot name but cannot resist. It is mating season, a brief passage in her solitary life when the forest may echo with the strange haunting cry the humans mistake for a woman's scream. The sound travels far, rolling over canyons and rivers, twisting through pines. It is raw, echoing, ancient, a signal carried by instinct and wind. Miles away, a male lifts his head. His tawny ears twitch, his nostrils flare. The scent of her is faint but undeniable, threading through the air like a secret. He moves toward it, slow and careful, as night folds around him. For days, he follows her trail. Through snowmelt streams and over wind-polished stone, he moves with the focus of one who has waited all winter for this moment. When at last he finds her, she stands in a clearing dappled with light, every muscle ready. Her tail flicks once, twice. She watches him as he circles, silent as breath. Their world shrinks to this small patch of earth, the space between predator and potential mate, between fear and acceptance. She hisses, a sharp warning. He does not retreat. Instead, he lowers his head, patient, unthreatening. A minute passes, then another. The tension melts. She steps closer, until the space between them disappears. The forest, which has held its breath, exhales again. For several days they remain together, bound by a fragile peace. They hunt side by side, rest in the shelter of stone, and share the kind of quiet companionship the wild rarely allows. When they drink from a stream, their reflections ripple side by side, like twin spirits drawn together by something older than reason. Theirs is not love in any human sense, it is survival's brief alliance, nature's agreement to continue the story of life. Within her body, invisible and miraculous, a transformation begins. When his seed meets her egg, a spark ignites that will one day take shape in fur, bone, and breath. Cells divide and multiply, creating the blueprint for a hunter yet unborn. Scientists call it genetic diversity, nature calls it balance. Through this act, the species strengthens itself, new combinations of strength, stealth, and sight ensuring that the next generation may adapt to whatever changes lie ahead. Every birth matters. In some corners of the United States, the cougar's presence has faded. Highways split their ranges, and cities push deeper into the hills. Yet still, each successful pairing offers hope, proof that the wilderness endures, that even in the age of machines, the earth still hums with its own ancient logic. When their brief time together ends, he goes his way, drawn onward by instinct and the scent of distant valleys. She watches him vanish between the trees, her golden coat shimmering with the first light of dawn. Soon, she turns back toward her den, alone again but no longer empty. Inside her, life stirs quietly. Days grow longer. Spring rains fall in silver curtains across the mountains. Rivers roar with melted snow, carving paths through stone. The land breathes deeply once more. In the meadows, elk calves stumble on unsteady legs. Birds return to the high ridges, weaving new songs through the wind. And deep within the hidden folds of the forest, the mountain lion moves with purpose. She hunts not for pleasure but for promise, feeding the tiny lives forming within her. She chooses her resting places carefully. Under roots in caves, in thickets so dense that sunlight filters only as gold dust. To the world, she has disappeared. But to the earth, she is more alive than ever. At night, storms roll across the mountains. Lightning flashes behind peaks, illuminating her silhouette for the briefest heartbeat, a shadow against eternity.